The words hit like a physical blow. It was hell on Tracy. For decades, Michael J. Fox was the face of optimism, the back-to-the-future star who refused to let Parkinson's define him. But now, at 65, the actor has dropped a bombshell confession that shatters the carefully constructed narrative. Behind the red carpets and the foundation galas, a painful truth was unfolding. His wife of nearly 40 years, Tracy Paul-Lan, was silently suffering through a private battle. This isn't the story of a celebrity diagnosis. It's the story of a marriage that survived the unthinkable, but the scars run deeper than anyone ever knew. Before we uncover what really happened, tell us in the comments, what do you think is the biggest misunderstanding about this story? It was 1985, and Michael J. Fox was the biggest young star on television. Family ties had made him a household name, and at just 24 years old, he was navigating the dizzying heights of fame. Then came a new cast member for a recurring role, a sharp, captivating actress named Tracy Paul-Lan. She was everything he wasn't: grounded, thoughtful, and seemingly uninterested in the Hollywood circus. Fox was so taken by her that he actually chose her for the role, famously describing her as having strength without being overbearing. Yet, despite playing on-screen love interests, their real-life relationship remained strictly professional. Fox was dating actress Nancy McKeon, while Paul-Lan was seeing Kevin Bacon. On set, Paul-Lan often sat quietly by herself, lost in thought, and Fox, though dying to know what she was pondering, kept his distance. 2 years later, fate would intervene. Both single, they were reunited on the set of the film Bright Lights, Big City. This time, the spark that had been dormant in 1985 ignited instantly. Looking back, Fox described the moment with startling honesty. Someone goes, "Did you hear that so-and-so aren't together anymore?" And you go, that's too bad. Where's the phone? It was a whirlwind. Within months, they were engaged. On July 16, 1988, they married in a small, intimate ceremony in Woodstock, Vermont, determined to create a life together away from the prying eyes of the media. If you're enjoying this story, subscribe so you never miss our next documentary. Just 3 years into their marriage, in 1991, the couple's world collapsed. Fox was 29 years old, at the absolute peak of his career. He had just wrapped Back to the Future Part 3 and was filming Doc Hollywood in Florida when he noticed a tremor in his pinky finger, a subtle twitch that wouldn't go away. A neurologist delivered the devastating diagnosis: early-onset Parkinson's disease, a progressive degenerative disorder of the central nervous system. He was told he likely had only 10 years left to work. The news was shattering, but before a single headline could be written, Fox sat down with Tracy, the woman he had married just a few years earlier. He told her what the doctor had said. Her response would define their marriage for the next 3 decades. In the documentary Still, a Michael J. Fox movie, he recalled her whispering the very words they had spoken at their wedding altar, in sickness and in health. She didn't flinch. She didn't waver. She looked at him and said, "You're not any different than you were yesterday. Nothing's changed." But behind that moment of grace, a far darker battle was unfolding. Fox chose to keep the diagnosis a secret for 7 agonizing years, 7 years of denial, of pretending nothing was wrong while his body slowly betrayed him. He continued to act, to smile for the cameras, to be the charming Marty McFly the world loved. But privately, he was falling apart. He turned to alcohol as a coping mechanism, descending into a period of abuse that would nearly destroy everything. It wasn't about partying anymore. It was about escaping the terrifying reality of his future. He later admitted that he had become a single mother to Tracy, pulling her away from her own promising career and, now, subjecting her to a trial that wasn't hers to endure. What happened next surprised even those closest to them. Despite his spiral, Tracy held the family together. She became his anchor, even as the weight of carrying his secret threatened to crush her. The foundation of their love had been laid, but the roof was about to cave in. Behind the closed doors of their home, a different struggle was taking shape, one that would test Tracy in ways the world would never see. If this story surprised you, share it with someone who would enjoy uncovering forgotten Hollywood stories. Behind the closed doors of their home, a different battle was unfolding, one that the cameras never captured. While Michael J. Fox became the face of Parkinson's advocacy, Standing on stages and accepting awards, Tracy Portland was fighting a war of attrition in the shadows. It was hell on Tracy. It was really hard on her, and it still is because it's always changing, Fox admitted in a rare moment of complete candor. Those words cut through the carefully maintained public image of the perfect Hollywood couple and revealed something far more complex. Fox kept his Parkinson's diagnosis a secret for 7 agonizing years after discovering it in 1991. 7 years of pretending nothing was wrong while his body slowly betrayed him. 7 years of swallowing pills to mask the tremors, of hiding in bathrooms to compose himself before scenes. And Tracy? She was the keeper of that secret, the one who watched her husband deteriorate in private while he charmed audiences in public. She watched him turn to alcohol as a coping mechanism, descending into a period of abuse that nearly destroyed everything. Fox later admitted he became a single mother to Tracy, pulling her away from her own promising acting career and subjecting her to a trial that wasn't hers to endure. When he finally went public with his diagnosis in 1998, the public celebrated his bravery. But for Tracy, that moment marked the beginning of a new kind of struggle. She went from being the secret keeper to being the caregiver in the spotlight, a role that demanded a particular kind of strength. The disease is not easy for their 4 children, Portland has acknowledged, noting that Fox was diagnosed very, very early into Sam's life. For their daughters, this was the only father they had ever known, a father who was slowly being stolen from them by an invisible enemy. But Tracy never wavered. I think we really listen to each other. We are there for each other when we need each other, she said, explaining how they've survived nearly 4 decades. And yet, the toll is undeniable. Fox himself admitted he would have forgiven Tracy if she had chosen to leave. At any time, she would have been forgiven to say, "I just want to step out," but she didn't do that. That admission speaks volumes about his guilt, about the weight he carries knowing what his disease has cost the woman he loves. And the weight wasn't just emotional. It was logistical, physical, and unrelenting. Caregiving for a Parkinson's patient is, as Fox himself has put it, the most difficult thing in the world. Falls, fractures, infections, the physical toll on the patient translates directly to the caregiver. Tracy has been there for all of it, quietly absorbing the chaos so her husband could maintain his optimism. She became a member of the board of the Michael J. Fox Foundation, channeling her pain into purpose. But make no mistake, behind that purpose, there was pain, and the world was only beginning to understand just how much she had sacrificed. But the real revelation was yet to come, a confession from Michael about the guilt that has haunted him for decades, and the moment he realized that his wife's love was the only thing keeping him alive. The confession that emerged from Michael J. Fox in the wake of his documentary was startling. He revealed that at any point during the past 3 decades, he would have understood, would have forgiven his wife if she had chosen to leave. The admission wasn't born of self-pity. It was born of an acute, almost painful awareness of what he had put her through. At any time, she would have been forgiven to say, "I'm just gonna step out," Fox admitted in a CBS Mornings interview. But she didn't do that. He explained that Tracy had long ago indicated her commitment by invoking the words they had spoken at their wedding altar, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, and she had lived those words every single day since. The weight of that unearned grace became a constant companion for Fox. He spoke of how he had, in his younger years, taken this young actress whose career was hopping. She was doing great, she was beautiful, and I made her a single mother and I took her out of the game. Then, with Parkinson's, he felt he had done it again, superimposing my agenda and a trial on her that wasn't hers to endure. This wasn't just guilt. It was a quiet, daily reckoning with the cost of his illness on the woman he loved most. Yet Tracy never saw it that way. When asked how their marriage had survived, she pointed to a foundation built on listening and mutual support. "I think we really listen to each other. We are there for each other when we need each other," she said. "And then we also give each other space when that's needed." Their relationship, she explained, was about feeling what's needed at the moment and trying to be there. But make no mistake, the burden was real. Tracy admitted in an interview with People that while Fox's optimism was a source of strength, it was equally important to acknowledge the reality of the challenge. "It's very difficult for the family, for the caregivers, and obviously for the patient," she said. So I think it's also important to acknowledge that, and acknowledge that it's not just all sort of easy. It's not easy. Through it all, Fox found a way to forgive himself. He learned to lose well, a lesson he described as perhaps the greatest gift of the disease. He realized that the love he shared with Tracy was built on something that couldn't be broken by a diagnosis. And Tracy, for her part, never wavered. She joined the board of the Michael J. Fox Foundation and channeled her pain into purpose. Their love, as Fox put it, had never died. But as the years passed and Fox's health continued to decline, the family faced another reckoning, a realization that his time was not infinite, and that the legacy he would leave behind was about more than just movies. If you enjoyed this documentary, like the video and subscribe for more true celebrity stories every week. As the couple marked their 38th wedding anniversary in July 2026, Fox took to Instagram with a photograph that captured something deeper than Hollywood romance. The image showed the couple smiling together on a wicker love seat, their faces bearing the unmistakable marks of a lifetime shared. Every day is a holiday, and anniversaries are even better. Love you so, he captioned the post, set to the Rolling Stones, that's how strong my love is. Tracy responded in kind with a throwback snapshot, writing simply, "Happy anniversary, sweetie. I love you so." But these public declarations of love mask a profound evolution in their relationship. Parkinson's has taken an undeniable toll on the actor over the decades. He has broken numerous bones from falls. He has admitted to being in pain all the time. And yet, remarkably, Fox has found a way to channel that pain into purpose. His foundation has reportedly funded $3 billion in Parkinson's research since 2000, advancing breakthrough discoveries including a crucial spinal fluid test for those exhibiting symptoms. He has become, as his Back to the Future co-star once described him, the most stubborn optimist I know. For Tracy, the foundation has become more than a cause, it has become a lifeline. As a member of the board of directors, she has transformed her personal struggle into collective action. It's all of the work that they've done and all of the science that has been funded and the discoveries made that is just incredibly exciting, she said, her voice carrying the weight of decades of hope. The foundation, she noted, gives us so much hope and optimism. Their children, Sam, 37, twin daughters Aquina and Skylar, both 31, and youngest Ismay, 24, have grown up in the shadow of the disease. Michael was diagnosed before the girls were born and very early into Sam's life, so it's kind of all they know, really, Tracy acknowledged. Yet rather than fracturing the family, the challenge has united them. They are just incredibly supportive, she said. They are very helpful to me. I lean on them a lot. Perhaps the most profound revelation came when Fox reflected on his own mortality. It's really prolonged my life and made my life interesting in a way that I didn't think it would be to this point, he said of acting. I'm not retired from acting, but if I didn't act again, it would be for a very good reason. I let Parkinson's make decisions for me. It's a stunning admission from a man who was once told he had only 10 years left to work. As for the secret to their survival, find something to laugh about together every day, if you can, Tracy advised their newly married son, Sam. We just take it one day at a time, and it's worked. The truth about Michael J. Fox and Tracy Pollan's marriage isn't that it survived Parkinson's. It's that Parkinson's didn't survive them. And that is the story the world will never forget. The launch of the urban cruiser Abella at $23,000 should have been a victory lap. But inside Toyota's headquarters, a very different conversation was unfolding. Chairman Akio Toyoda had just issued a chilling warning to the company's leadership. There seems to be a considerable sense of crisis within the company. The word crisis is rarely used in Japanese corporate culture. But Toyoda was explicit. If Toyota didn't adapt fast enough, it's over. The crisis isn't about the Abella itself. The vehicle is impressive, a 61 kilowatt-hour battery delivering up to 543 kilometers of range, a spacious SUV body, and a price point that undercuts virtually every competitor in its class. But the launch revealed something far more troubling. Even as Toyota celebrated its most affordable EV, internal engineers were admitting a painful truth. Speaking to NHK, one engineer bluntly stated, "I think we are losing to China." That loss isn't just about pride. It's about speed. Chinese automakers like BYD now develop new vehicles in 18 to 24 months, half the time Toyota requires for its traditional 4 to 5 year cycles. BYD's chief executive recently declared the company aims to become the world's largest automaker within 5 years, having already surpassed Ford in 2025. Meanwhile, Toyota's pure battery EVs accounted for just 2% of its total sales in 2025. In the 2026 Lead the Charge ranking, Toyota fell to 16th place out of 18 global automakers, its second consecutive annual decline amid criticism over its slow electrification transition. Toyota's response has been characteristically blunt. He admitted feeling alone in his conviction that combustion engines still matter, a minority view within an industry rapidly pivoting to electric. But loneliness, as environmental advocates have pointed out, is not a strategy. Greenpeace called on Toyota to match his company's resources with genuine ambition rather than clinging to a multi-pathway approach that critics argue deliberately delays full EV adoption. The irony is staggering. Toyota just released a $23,000 EV that could democratize electric mobility. But behind the scenes, the company that built the Prius, the vehicle that defined hybrid technology, is fighting to stay relevant in a race it once led. The question now isn't whether Toyota can build affordable EVs. The question is whether it can build them fast enough to survive. If this story surprised you, share it with someone who would enjoy uncovering the hidden battles behind big industry headlines. The $23,000 urban cruiser Abella was never meant to be Toyota's salvation. It was a warning shot, a toe dipped into waters that are rapidly rising. The real battle for Toyota's survival is being fought around a single nameplate, Corolla. And the stakes could not be higher. Chairman Akio Toyoda made that brutally clear in a recent interview broadcast by NHK, warning that Toyota cannot survive by sticking to its traditional methods, pinning the company's future on the next-generation Corolla EV. For a brand that built its empire on gasoline and hybrid engines, that admission is nothing short of remarkable. The Corolla is the best-selling car in history, with over 57 million units sold across 60 years. It is the definition of mass-market transportation. And now, Toyota is betting its future on turning that icon into an electric vehicle. The concept previewed at the Japan Mobility Show was striking: a low-slung sedan with a closed-off grille and a charge port, signaling a dramatic departure. But the engineering challenge is immense. The next-generation Corolla will sit on a brand-new platform designed to support every powertrain simultaneously: battery electric, plug-in hybrid, traditional hybrid, and gasoline. It's a compromise born of necessity, a recognition that Toyota must hedge its bets while desperately trying to catch up. And the clock is ticking. Toyota's global market share has slipped from approximately 20% to 16%. Chinese automaker BYD, which went all in on electric and plug-in hybrids in 2022, has already surpassed Ford to become the world's sixth largest automaker, with its CEO promising the top spot within 5 years. When one Toyota engineer spoke to NHK, the admission was blunt: "I think we are losing to China." Even Toyota's internal execution has faltered. Last month, the company cancelled the Lexus LFZC, its flagship EV that was meant to debut advanced batteries and manufacturing. For a brand that prides itself on precision and reliability, killing its Halo EV project sent shockwaves through the company. Critics have been quick to draw the unflattering comparison. Talk News ran a piece titled, "I think this is Toyota's Kodak moment," arguing that like Kodak, which invented digital photography and then buried it, Toyota risks being the incumbent that misses the shift. But Toyota is not going quietly. He has admitted feeling alone in his conviction that combustion engines still matter, a minority view within an industry rapidly pivoting to electric. Yet even he recognizes that the game has changed. The next-gen Corolla EV, when it arrives, must beat the value story of today's hybrid while delivering the range and charging consumers now expect. If it succeeds, it could finally reach the cautious mainstream buyer who trusts a Corolla more than a startup. If it fails, Toyota's Kodak moment will be sealed, not by a lack of innovation, but by a fatal hesitation in the face of an electric revolution. The $23,000 EV was the opening move. The Corolla EV is the endgame. And the entire industry is watching to see if Toyota can survive its own legacy.